What's up, you guys? It's SlimXTeamSymmetry here on my friend CyberKnight8610's channel. I'd like to give him a shout out. Thank you so much for letting me appear on your channel here today. I'm here to talk to you guys about a very kind of cool, very kind of laid back topic in Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's playing on a budget. I've made countless videos in the past talking about budget cards and how the release of several packs, several structure decks has made some of the most sought after cards readily available for a lot of players. And I think that it's a really important topic because it was brought up to me that a lot of players are, in a sense, made fun of, they're looked down upon for when they used low rarity cards, that if you don't have the top rarity, if you don't have secret rare this, or ultra rare this, or ulti first ed foreign this, that you're a bad player. And I know that sounds crazy, but a lot of people have messaged me, a lot of people have told me that at locals, at regional level, at YCS level, possibly all the way up to national level, that players are looked down upon by some of the community when they use low rarity cards, and I've never understood that. I've never understood why that, rarity should be such a factor. And pretty much like that's the point of the video, is that when it all boils down to it, the rarity of your cards does not matter when they're being played. It matters, though, to the player themselves. Some players like to have the highest rarity cards. They like to have foil cards. They like shiny things. It's not uncommon that people enjoy holo cards. Like back when Pokemon first came out, like pulling a holo card was like the greatest feeling in the world, and it goes for pretty much any card game. Whenever you pulled a holo, you felt like you pulled something good. If you were a little kid back in 2002, 2000, buying Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and you pulled an ultra rare or a super or anything, you probably felt amazing, like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. Little did you know whether later on down the line the card would be good or not. But as time has progressed, a lot of really hard to get sought after cards have been reprinted. I think some of the best examples of that would be cards like Pot of Duality, Solemn Warning, Tour Guide from the Underworld, Breakthrough Skill. A lot of these cards have been reprinted multiple times and reprinted to be mass produced so that more people had more access to them. Like Pot of Duality, Solemn Warning, cards like that, when they first came out, they were worth just like a shit ton of money. They were really hard to get. You usually would have to trade for them, or you'd have to buy boxes or cases in order to pull them. And at the time, you needed 3. Like when Pot of Duality came out, you needed 3 Pot of Duality in most decks. If you're playing Heroes or Gravekeepers or Blackwings or something like that, you needed those cards if you really wanted to be at the competitive level. And a lot of people cannot financially afford it. A lot of people also, don't want to spend as much money on the game. And I think, like, as the game has gone on, it's become a lot easier for players to get access to good cards. Battle Pack is one of the best examples. Battle Pack has made it so that staples have come back, as well as many sought-after cards have been reprinted in Black Rare, Mosaic, whatever you want to call it, Starfoil versions, so that you're able to get it immediately. It's not hard to get. You can buy a box and pretty much pull the entire set. Outside of like some, I know in Battle Pack 2 you weren't able to get all the God cards in a box, but a lot of people were looking for Card D, they were looking for Breakthrough Skill, they were looking for really good like staple cards that had become staple at the time, and having that access to them, having to only pay maybe $10 for a Card D versus 40 to 50, what it was at one point, is amazing. It not only saves you money, but it gives you access to the card. You don't have to feel like outclassed when playing someone if they have a card and you don't. It pretty much evened the playing field in the sense of accessibility of cards. Granted, it has no impact on how you play the cards. When it comes to that, rarity doesn't matter. Rarity is only pretty much for looks. It's for the ability to, in a sense, show off. Some people do use it to show off. A lot of people do it because they enjoy holo cards. And I think that's another thing that people have a hard time with, is you can look at this topic on both spectrums. Some budget players, they don't look down, but they kind of, make fun of people who fully bling out their decks. Like, oh my god, if your deck got stolen, oh, you'd be out so much money. Oh, you spent so much money on that. Oh, you could buy a car with that money. There's always these exaggerated examples, but I think to each his own, that if you enjoy getting holo staples, hollowing out your deck, getting the max rarity, then go for it. If that's your thing, go for it. But for the budget players, you should never feel bad that you use low rarity cards. You should never feel bad that your MST isn't holo. It's a common from the starter deck. It's still an MST. It's still going to destroy a back row. It's still going to do what the card is meant to do. Many people I know benefited when Tour Guide from the Underworld was reprinted. A lot of people wanted that. That was like oh my god, I can't believe this card's getting reprinted. And it's been reprinted 2 times, once as in the battle pack and once as a super in the tin. and it has made the ability to get those cards easier, and it's made it a lot more universal, so that there was a point where you would not be surprised if your opponent summoned Tour Guide. Back then, you wouldn't even know if your opponent had it or not. Some people would play decks that ran Tour Guide and they didn't have Tour Guide, so they had to use, I guess, like lower level alternatives, which were really hard to do at the time. And as the game went on, the ability, as all these reprints came out, it made it a lot easier to build decks. It made it so that every player could play the top decks if they wanted to. Some of the tins released cards like Rescue Rabbit and Tour Guide and Max C. I think the Max C and the Valor reprints were probably some of the most beneficial, because hand traps really have had a ridiculous impact on the game since they came out. And the ability to have them, the ability to know that you're playing against someone, and if they know the meta, you know the meta, you expect a Max C, you expect an Effect Valor. You don't think that, back then it was like you had to have ulti first Valors or you're a nobody. You know, if you had them, you'd feel your opponent didn't have them, and vice versa. But these days, you're able to pretty much anticipate that if you play against someone, they're probably going to have a lot of the staples that have become the main cards in the game. Cards like Breakthrough Skill are getting other reprints. The Lightshorn Structured X is giving us yet another reprint of Breakthrough Skill, and it's guaranteed. I think another thing, as I close out the video, is to say that some of these structure decks have made it so that you're guaranteed to get these cards. When you buy Battle Pack, when you buy packs, you're taking a gamble. You're taking a gamble at whether you're going to pull it or not. You're not guaranteed to pull it, and you're not guaranteed to pull the amount that you want. If you want a full set of a card, you're not guaranteed in one box to get 3 of them. And a lot of cards that are hollow, you're lucky if you'll get 1. Sometimes you'll get none. Sometimes you'll get skunked on a box and get nothing. So I think that reprints have been really healthy. They've made it so that budget players can, up their game. They can, stay at the competitive level, and they can do it in a way that makes it so that it doesn't hurt them financially, but it also allows them to get access to the best cards and play them. And even though they're not able to get a foreign version of the card, a secret rare version of the card, they're still able to play the same deck. They're still able to play the game that we all love, and they're still able to learn through using those cards. Because one thing is that the rarity, like I said, isn't going to matter. How you play the card is what's going to matter. If you, make the right play with the card, whether it's secret, French first edition, or a misprint, or some ridiculous rarity versus a common, and it doesn't matter. If you play the card the right way, it's going to do exactly what it's meant to do. And at the end of the day, the rarity does not matter when you're playing. It does matter to the player if they're someone who likes to bling out their deck, or if they're someone who likes to use budget cards. But a common MST will always play the same as a Ultra MST. Now, I know a lot of people will say that the rarity matters because you can stack the cards, that you'll draw better and stuff like that. That may be true. I don't really know. I've used a mixture of stuff for years. I've gone as high as foreign, high rarity, all the way down to commons and rares. And to this day, I'm still using commons and rares, and proud to use them because they, I like them. I like the fact that I don't have to worry about bending a hollow, or something happening to one of the really expensive cards. If it was an ultra or secret, if it got damaged, like I feel really bad. I feel like I lost a lot of money. Whereas if it's a common, it's easily replaceable. So when you look at all the factors, there's nothing wrong with being a budget player. There's nothing wrong with using low rarity cards. At the end of the day, they still do the same thing, and I think that's just something I think a lot of players can learn from. And to everyone who blings out their decks, more power to you. It's awesome. I think it's awesome to see fully blinged out foreign decks. You can't even pronounce the names of the cards. You don't even, you just know based off playing against the deck so much, what the cards do, and I think that's cool too, when you don't even have to read the card, and you just know. That's just knowledge that you've gained over the time you've played the game. So there's many benefits. There is some negative sides, of course, like I mentioned, that people do talk down to other players at times. It does happen. And the thing is, with rarities, higher rarities, you become a target, unfortunately, because there is a lot of theft in the game. And as try as we might to, dwindle that down, it still exists. So that is one disadvantage to having high rarities, not only in your deck but also in your binder. It at times can make you a target, but I think overall the rarity is up to the player. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I really wanted to say. So shout out to all the budget players who use commons and rares. I use them too. I know a lot of players use them. Same card, same effect, gonna activate the same way, gonna play the same way. shout out to the players who, you know, use fully blinged out foreign decks. Your decks look freaking awesome. I think that's, you know, just cool. But at the end of the day, it's how you play the game and how you play your cards, and that will determine the winner in the end. So that's all I got to say. Once again, I want to give a big shout out to CyberKnight8610. Thank you for letting me come on here to, you know, talk about this topic today. If you want to go and check out my channel, I'm sure there'll be an annotation or a link down below. The channel name is SlimXTeamSymmetry. I do a lot of videos, very big on getting the subscribers community involved. A lot of my videos are based off that, based off what you want to see, based on current meta, past meta. I do segments like back in the day talking about old decks. I do psychology segments on, you know, kind of how to play the game in a different way, how to play more of a mind game, how to psych out your opponent, how to make reads, stuff like that. I also do many deck profiles. I've been to many YCSs, nationals, worlds, etc. I've been pretty much around the world for the game before. Not so much as I was before, but I'm still very up to date with things. So I hope you guys will come check out my channel, and I hope you guys will check out the awesome video that CyberKnight's gonna have on my channel. That's gonna be great, and I just want to say thank you again, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's all I have to say. Thank you for watching.